Hey y'all, today on the farm is where it all begins. It is the first week of February and I do things a little different than most farmers. I would say I'm not a traditional farmer. I aim to sell a product year-round. Most farmers plant their crop in the spring, harvest in the fall, and they get paid in the fall and winter. If you have a grain bin, then you may put corn or grain, some type of wheat or soybeans or whatever in your grain bin, and you may sell it throughout the year, try to trickle in a little bit of payment. But for the most part, farmers receive all their money in one part of the year. I'm different in that I grow a lot of crops, sell a lot of different things, and I trickle them out all year round, so I always have money coming in and try to keep the ball rolling, so to speak. So today we are planting sweet peas, first week of February. We actually tried to get them in the ground last week and couldn't quite do it. And this is the first crop I will plant during the year here. I plan to harvest these on April the 1st, March 30, April 1st, somewhere right in that area. I have traveled now 2 counties south of my farm. I'm down here right on the Florida line where another gentleman I do a lot of pea work with, Vic Hunter at the Peach Depot. We share information back and forth, and we work together shelling peas and growing peas some. We're going to grow these peas on his farm because he's a little further south, and he won't have a frost where I will have a frost. He's just a little bit further than me, about an hour south of me. And so these peas won't get hit with quite as much cold weather, hopefully just enough that we can get by growing them here in February. If I wait till the time where they're right to plant them in my area, when it's warm enough, then it will be too warm before they get ready. They'll be damaged from the heat. I know this from previous experience, but we can plant them earlier down here where he's at and hopefully get them matured before they get too much heat on them. This is what we're going to be harvesting these peas with when they get ready. Again, I think that's going to be around March 30 or April 1st, but we will be using the Big Jack to cut these peas, and that's the other reason why we're putting them on his farm instead of mine. I've been harvesting with a 1-row pick saw, and with the 1-row BH 100, you can't plant these peas with a grain drill. You have to plant them on single rows. And when you plant them on single 36-inch rows, you can't get the yield that you need. To get the high enough yield that we need per acre, we need to grain drill them. And if we're going to plant them with a grain drill, then we got to pick them with a Big Jack.
Sweet peas.
English peas, like a garden pea.
Sweet peas, English peas.
Oh, they just love them things.
I've never had any fresh ones.
They're good. So these peas, y'all see me grow a lot of what we call southern peas. Y'all Yankees call them cow peas. We call them southern peas. So like zippers, cream 40s, pink eye purple hulls, lady fingers, all that kind of stuff. This is what southerners call a English pea or sweet pea, but the rest of the world just calls peas. It's a cooler weather. It can't handle the heat that we typically have here, and it grows a completely different plant habitat. The peas that we grow on a plant. These grow more on a vine, and it's just completely different species, but something that we are trying out down here in the south. These old John Deere drills are real simple. You have a main seed compartment in there, and you have a holes in the bottom, and you adjust how much of the hole is open. These teeth come by the open hole and drop it down into the tube. Just pushing these seed down to the seed tube. You see it catches back here, comes down, and it gets dumped right down here in the row. If y'all been watching the channel long, you know this is not the dirt that I typically farm. This is what I would call the opposite of the type of dirt I normally work on. I grow on a lot of dark red clay, stuff they make bricks out of, and this is totally different. Totally different than what I'm used to growing on. Again, we're only 2 counties south, but we're closer to the ocean, getting further down on the coastal plain, and the soil's completely different. We had a malfunction on the first drill, but luckily Vic has 6 or 7 of these drills, so we just dropped the first one, loaded up the second one here. We're gonna go with it. He plants a lot of deer food plots with this drill, so he knew it was in good working order. This one is a half a drill instead of a whole drill, so it's covering less ground in the past, but he feels better about this one. He uses it a lot more. The way the John Deere Model B drill covers up the seeds, it has these drag chains. And as the seed drops behind this opening coulter in the furrow here, this drag chain will pull dirt over the seed to cover it up. See our seed falling out right there. There they are. And this chain is just covering it up. The Model B drills have this rope a lot of times attached to the cab so you can engage and disengage the drill. And all it does is you come over and pull this, and it will lower the coulters down to the ground and engage the transmission, which will then make the little cogs turn there that will spit out the seed. These John Deere B drills, instead of, like I said, instead of having a press wheel to firmly pack it, it just has a drag chains. And so he's dropping them in this sand, and the drag chain is just pulling dirt over the top of it. And so you can't set the depth as fine-tuned as you can with like a Max-Emerge planter or a more modern thing. But these drills have been working. How long, when they come out with a John Deere B? In the 50s?
Yeah, probably before that.
So since 1950s or 60s, people have been using these drills. They've been working pretty effective since then. And he says he plants deer food plots, so that particular drill, 10, 20 acres a year with it, no problem. So he's dropping along here and we're dragging this sand over the top of it. A little bit different what y'all seen me do with the red dirt. With the red dirt where I'm at, we have to get the seed dip extremely precise because it's hard for that seed to push through that red dirt and come up. It'll get hard and it'll crust. This sand doesn't crust like the red dirt does. You deal with other issues with the sand than you would with the red dirt. I can my equipment will move through the dirt easier, but with the sand you'll have some pushing issues sometimes and build up. But just different things you encounter when you farm on different dirt. Our target seed rate out here is 100 pounds per acre. That's a lot different than what we do with the southern peas. Southern peas we plant on 36-inch rows. We want to seed every 2 inches apart on those rows. But with this, we're dropping them a lot thicker because again we're going to pick them with the big jack. So it's kind of like instead of when you combine, instead of combine with a corn head where you got rows, when you switch to wheat you go to a grain table. It's kind of like that sort of thing. We're going from a 1-row 36-inch 1-row harvester to a more like a grain table style harvester. So we're drilling them on 7.5-inch rows and dropping them pretty thick. Well, that's gonna do it for me today. I'm gonna head north back to the house while Vic finished putting these peas in the ground. This new variety that we're planting, we're shooting for 100 bushels per acre, and we're putting out 100 pounds of seed per acre. So we should get a decent return on these, and they should be out of the way before we start our southern peas. Vic will be planting southern peas in here after these English peas roll out, and I'm hoping to get them out by April 1st so he can fall right in here with his summer crop. I thank all of y'all for watching, and I hope to see you next time.